All right, so we have my Norco here, and I just got done racing the Arkansas Enduro Series. I did the expert class and the e-mountain bike, and it was my first e-mountain bike race. I've done plenty of enduros, and I usually do open pro. That's usually the category I go in, and I've done pretty decent. I have never podiumed, but I'll get like, you know, top 20, top 30 of, you know, 150, 200 riders or something like that. But otherwise, this race was much tighter, so there weren't as many e-bikers. But boy, there were some good ones. There were some locals, and they were ripping it. So it was really hard to keep up with them. So I did not do as well as I would have liked, but I got through all the stages pretty clean. Messed up in one or two stages that really just took any chance of me getting on the podium for the open. But for my age category, if I had done amateur, I would have been, you know, first place or something like that. So I think next time I might just do the amateur, just because I don't know these tracks and I'm usually doing them completely blind. I don't have the luxury of being there days and weeks at a time and kind of scanning the area out. And some of these races, they don't tell you what the trails are going to be until just before the race. So you don't really have much time to practice on all of them. You just physically, it's almost impossible. Now on an e-bike, I could have ridden it all in practice like a day or two before. I got in one day late and I just didn't know how to get to a few of the other stages. So didn't have the time, went blind into a handful of them. And a few of those stages going blind in was pretty nuts. So happy I got out unscathed. Unfortunately, my bike did not get out unscathed and got a nice busted rim. So we've got a major crack right there. Yeah, you can see that. Yep, pretty good one. And then I ended up riding that out through the weekend because it was right at the point where the nipple goes in. So it wasn't cracked on the sidewalls. So I knew the wheel was intact to ride. It's just definitely made for an interesting race day. So I was racing on this rim like this. So not ideal, but got through the race. It worked out. And then I also bent a crank arm, which on an e-bike, you're actually going to do that a lot. You're either, depending on how hard you ride, you're either going to blow up a pedal, which I've done plenty, or you're going to blow a crank arm. And what I've learned is with e-bikes is you really want to go with a composite pedal. The reason you want to go composite is because you want the pedal to snap, ideally. You know, I'd rather have a composite pedal break up on me rather than the crank arm take more damage and become the issue. So I've learned over time that it's better to get a weak pedal than a really strong pedal on an e-bike, because you kind of want it to break if it does. And that way you salvage the crank arm. If you have a really heavy duty pedal on, you're gonna break the crank arm. Like, it's gonna snap that crank arm or it's gonna bend it really bad. In this case, it bent it even though it's a composite. So I hit it hard enough, and boy, it bent it good. So you can really tell there's a big difference comparatively. And then the flex point on this is getting really tight. So I got the last crank arm set. What is this? All right. So this is the FC E8000 set, and it's a really easy crank arm to install because basically it's, you know, it's just both a non-drive side, even though there is a left and a right, so technically speaking, but they're both basically non-drive cranks for the e-bike. So this is a nice brand new one. It doesn't have as much in it. Let's see if we can pick it to show the difference here. All right, pop this pedal off real quick. All right, so the pedal took pretty good hit, but honestly must have done it just right because it didn't take too much damage. The bearings are fine. So let's see how much more bent this is than meets the eye. We're gonna take that cap off. I think I left it loosely on because I was already putting. All right, so with these Shimano's, it's really easy removal process. You're just going to loosen these pinch bolts right here. So these are just 2 pinch bolts. Loosen them evenly, and then there's this center little clip that you're gonna pop out with like a flathead. So you just pop out this little clip, and then you're able to just fully remove it. It is probably the easiest crank arm to remove and deal with. These plastic washers are a little annoying. I wish they were metal. I wish they were like nice aluminum. That's my only gripe. But let's see if we can notice the difference in the bend. It's not too bad. Better to show you this way. It's not a huge amount, but it's noticeable. And so if you look right now, you can see we're pretty close to the chainstay here. So not ideal. And then this is the new one. And you can see a much better gap. So it was bent, which is crazy. So it was definitely getting close on that puppy. And then I'm hitting drops and jumps on this, some pretty big stuff. So I can't have that kind of flex because then it's going to, any more amount of flex is going to get put on my bike getting gouged in. So this is the old kind of messed up thread. We're going to use the nice new ones they gave us. So there we go, nice fresh threads. Always going to grease those up. Don't need a ton of grease, just a little. We'll get it all started. And then you don't tension the pinch bolts yet. So you start off with the face bolt when you're installing, and you get it nice and snug. With this system, you can be a little bit extra snug. On other ones, you don't want to go too tight. You kind of want to find that sweet spot. But this is snug. We got it on there nice and snug. I'm going to get it tight as I can. There we go. So that's good. We're also going to come down to the clip, and we're going to make sure that's closed now. And now we're just going to evenly tighten the torque bolts. This one says we're going to finish it at 12 to 14 newtons. So you can use a torque wrench and finish there, or just, get it pretty darn hand tight. The key is to get them evenly torqued. So you can see I'm doing about quarter way turns here. And that one's loose because of how tight I got the other one. So I've got to get another good bite on this. What is going on here, bud? All right, we are just going to grease up this guy real quick. And thread it back on. So this bike took a little bit of a beating. It was broken rear rim and a busted crank arm. But when you're riding an enduro race and you're riding some pretty big jumps and drops, that tends to happen. So the left side's looking good. I'm not worried about that left side. So I've kind of preliminarily gone through the bike. I've got an extra crank arm for the left side if that ever goes bad on me. I will keep this, just for keepsake. that. That is a straight rim. I'll tell you what. Got one tiny little hop. I think he's probably gonna try and get that out. Otherwise, I think it's good. Looks good to me. All right, so we are finishing off the wheel build here on this. It's a 370 DT Swiss hybrid hub. And what was interesting was the rim that I had it on, the one that I busted, was an E13. So this guy right here, E13 makes good stuff. I'm not bashing them. It's just this one snapped. This is the, I can't tell what that says, LG1 DH. I don't know, LR1. The little writings here are kind of hard to read. It's a downhill rim. It's not very heavy. Like, it's not a super heavy rim. But funny enough, I have a 370 hub. It's a hybrid, and I snagged one of the DT Swiss hybrid rims. So now it's gonna be fully matched up. And the hybrid series is to be able to withstand like e-bike forces. So it's their extra sturdy rim, and it's the same width. So we're not losing any ground here. And I don't want to go too wide because, you know, then you can't fit the tire in the setup. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, before I mount the tire, I'm going to try and ride wrap the rest of this and clean this up as much as I can. So it's really glued in there. It's going to be really hard to get off. It is what it is though, but I'll try and work on that. All right, so this chain has seen better days. Boom. Boom. BMX time.
Little tiny one. Very nice. So 2 flats.
2 flats. Halfway cooked on this chain.
Yeah, so the wheels, sorry, I forgot to text back. The wheel's almost done.
Okay.
It needs to be dished, and then I'm just pulling on those spokes, making sure they're all.
Alright.
It's like 2 mil, and then it like tapers up to like a thicker thing. So it's like, it's like thick at the top up here.
Mm-hmm.
So from here to here, it's thick.
Okay.
And then from here down into the spoke nipple, it's like that normal
Video with the new rim. So we are mounting a new rim that my awesome young shop manager Ben put together. Everything feels nice. So we're going to tape it. Dude, I need to get some air in here, man. It's hot.
I think it's from your the dryer. I mean, guys are posting it up in here.
Yeah, it's just hot in general. It's gonna be like 65 today.
I'm gonna go with that.
I turned off my heat in the house. I was like, no heat going on today.
I woke up today, it was pretty cold, so.
The mornings are still like a little chilly, a little bitey, but I can manage it with the sun.
The sun helps so much.
It's always those first few like frosts where your body has to get acclimated to like 30 degrees, you know?
I'm trying not to wear a jacket to kind of get used to it.
I probably only need to do 1 pass with this, since I'm not rolling tubeless.
Oh yeah.
I don't want anything getting inside of this rim. That is the goal. And Tri-Flow really does make sure that like any like contaminations and rust that gets in there, it really kind of layers it from happening.
Yeah, when I chew my wheels, I try to put them in the cold and like let them sit for like a couple minutes.
Yep.
It's so much better.
Yep. Especially if they're like a little corroded, you know.
It goes a long way. It helps so much.
Tri-Flow is the kind of like unsung hero of bike shops.
It's actually no one talks about it either. No one's like, Tri-Flow, amazing.
It's what keeps the shifters alive, man.
Yeah, when you like fix a shifter, you squirt it with Tri-Flow, brand new.
Yep. 25-year-old Shimano, you know,
Yeah.
shifter, and thing
Bam.
comes to life. All right, that was
In
lickety.
your eyes, you're blinking better.
What's that?
Get it in your eyes and you're blinking.
Oh yeah. Use it as cologne.
Oh, it smells like bananas.
Yeah.
You should totally clean my chain. Throw on the thing.
All right, I'm happy with that. That looks good. That looks Gucci. Woo!
Looks like a new wheel or a new rim.
New rimsicle. All right, let's get the tire mounted. Yeah, tire mounted. This is the ASMR popping setup with my new GT Swiss rim. Looks like the other side. Oh man, we're not gonna get a pop. No pop, no satisfaction. No, don't want that.
Gotta get gains.
So we got some fresh boots on here. These are pedal boots, the Next SLs. They look pretty good. I think they make the crank arms look pretty sharp and snazzy.
Nice.
We've got some extra ride wrap protection here. The mountains. We've got forest. We've got the mats. This is a big bike. It takes a lot of ride wrap. Or dive rail, I should say. So.
Oh, product placement.
Product placement! I need to get that covered though.
Here, because a lot of people run that, and that's a pretty common driver. Like I've seen like
I think it still sounds mint too.
like Worldwide Cyclery does like combos where you buy like for like $400, you get the whole setup, and it's a GX setup, but the cassette and 10X, it's the only one that can run it.
That's silly,
And
man.
it's like, yo, you're missing a whole market right here because there's so many people.
Missing a whole market. We're talking about why you can only put an NX on
Yeah, you
a
can
Shimano HG.
And it's kind of like weird.
Come on,
A
y'all.
lot of people.
Kumbaya.
I really rarely see like a standard XD driver. At least like in this market, and I actually never see the Shimano like micro spline one.
I'll see those every now and again, and those are not cheap.
Yeah, that.
Those are.
I've only seen a handful of them. Like I don't really think they're like.
They're not. They're not
They don't
big.
blow around.
I have one, but the attachments are of course like all busted.
That's.
So I need to get like the little attachment pieces. Fresh cassette, fresh rim. This is like brand new. The only thing is the spokes are reused, but the spokes are in good shape. They're not bad. They're pretty beefy. I don't feel like buying a whole set of spokes right now. All right, we're getting down to the wire here, folks. We're getting down to the wire. Boom. All right, and then this guy right there. I usually throw a little bit of grease on this. And we can start that with a little bit of a hand thread. I'll get my fancy Abbey Tools part for this one.
Oh yeah.
Gotta use the Abbey.
Gotta get it to 40 Newton meters on the button.
85,000 Newton meters. Perfect. Boom. Boom. All right. That's looking mint. No play. Ready, hombre. All right, so I need to get this through axle re-greased. All right, this is SRAM's new fancy rotor. This is the HS2, 200 millimeters. And we are going to pop this puppy on. First thing I always do is I start off the bolts by hand. All right. And you want to make sure you're doing it the right side. So this is going to go this way. Line that up appropriately. And you don't want to thread these all the way down. You just want to start the threads. And you want to be careful not to touch the portion right here. Pretty simple stuff, but you'd be surprised. And this is a spot where, you know, a little bit of grease carries itself onto the axle ends where it goes into the through axle. So you gotta be careful you don't bring that over onto the rotor. Sometimes I'll use a drill if I just want to be a little faster, but I'm just gonna get these in by hand. And we just want them evenly pressured down in the final thread. All right, and now we're gonna fully tighten each one. And we're just torquing them down, being mindful not to touch the rotor. Okay, if you like tap it a little bit, as long as your gloves are clean, you'll be fine. All right, we're good. That's nice and snug. So we have the rotor mounted. It's in the right direction. And we have the cassette all set as well. It's a brand new cassette, brand new rim, matching the 370 hybrid hub with the HX 531 hybrid wheel. And yeah, it should hold up. Let's hope it holds up longer than the E13 did with all my crazy stuff. I have to admit that I gave it like no chance. Like I didn't maintain the E13. I kind of just let it go, and I didn't really. I should have been watching it.
Beat down.
Yeah, I gave it a pretty good beat down. Oh, freshy. Freshy 5000. Try and get the right 12 speed. This is double X.
Big fancy.
I mean, for an e-bike, that's not really ideal, but I'll take it. Hello. Oh God.
Yeah, that's bad. It doesn't get overwhelming if there's not a lot.
All right.
At least at one point.
No, don't say that. We don't want that going on. Lord knows it seems to be on the table.
Oh yeah, good heights.
There. Alrighty. Ooh, this color is gonna be nice on this. It's gonna be so nice. Popping it in, it is popped in, and we are golden. We're golden, folks. That's it. Bike's built.